Hey everybody, JC here with another TNI News video. Now we've got a lot to cover today, so let's hop right into it. Now first thing, I just want to share some new official images from Bandai America for their second wave of 6.5 inch Dragon Ball Super Dragon Star figures. So if you got the first wave, these are the figures that come with the Shenron Build-A-Figure, and you need to get both the first and the second wave in order to complete that. The first wave is out on shelves now. The second wave, I believe, will be out by October, maybe even late September at mass retail, but places like Big Bad Toy Store have it up for pre-order with an October release. And that wave, that second wave, is going to include a figure of Goku, Super Saiyan Vegeta, and Frieza in his final form. And again, these are the 6.5 inch figures. They cost about $20 each, and they're coming from Bandai America. Also, here are official images for the next wave of 6.5 inch Power Ranger Legacy figures from Bandai America. These are based on the Zeo Power Rangers and will come with pieces for the Zeo Megazord. These figures are due out later this year. In other news for Transformers, we got a new masterpiece announced from Takara Tomy. It's MP40, and it's going to be Hot Rodimus, a Target Master version of Hot Rodimus or Hot Rod. That basically, if you follow the old G1 lore, eventually Hot Rod, after he went from Hot Rod to Rodimus and then back to Hot Rod, and then became a Target Master, and that's where his weapon transforms into a robot. Or actually it was a human in a robot suit. At least that's how it was in the cartoon, if I remember correctly. I had kind of quit collecting Transformers by the time the Target Masters and Headmasters came out, so I'm not super familiar with them. But basically it's where the weapon transforms into a robot and such. So I'm guessing this is going to be a similar version of Hot Rod that we already got, only with the added accessory of the transforming weapon. We don't have official images for the figure yet, but it is said to be released in February, and hopefully the official images will be coming soon. You can pre-order it now at places like Big Bad Toy Store. A piece of information that I forgot to talk about last week was the announcement that Mediacom is going to be doing a new MAFEX Dark Knight Two-Face figure. So if you've been collecting the Dark Knight figures, the MAFEX Dark Knight figures, we're getting a new addition to the line with Two-Face based on the Aaron Eckhart actor. And I think the head sculpt, you get two head sculpts with this one. You get the normal Harvey Dent face sculpt, which I think looks pretty true to the actor, how he appeared in the movie. And then you get that second head sculpt where half the face is burnt off. And I think both of them look pretty good. You also get two different jackets that you can put on the figure, suit jackets. You get the normal Harvey Dent jacket, and then you get, again, the Two-Face one where half of it's kind of burnt up. You don't get extra legs or pants, so you don't get the matching Two-Face pants to go with the jacket. You just get the normal pants for Harvey Dent. And it kind of looks a little off with the normal pants when you have the Two-Face head sculpt on and the Two-Face jacket, but not too bad. You also get a pistol, a coin to flip, and a political pin that you see him have in the movie. Now that figure is said to be released in April of next year, and while I don't believe it's currently up for pre-order at places like Big Bad Toy Store, it should be soon. I wanted to touch base on the Hasbro San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. So as of yesterday, Hasbro had told me that these would go up on August 14th. Now all of them except for the Star Wars ones that were delayed until September. But apparently they did slip some out early this morning on the website. All the exclusives except for the Star Wars ones are actually currently listed on the website. However, now at least they're all currently sold out. But I do expect them to relist them or, basically put more in stock. So what it comes down to is at this point, and I'll put a link to the exclusives, to the website with the exclusives in the video description below in case you're not, in case you don't know how to find them. But I would expect that they'll probably kind of sprinkle them out and put some in stock here and there. So the best thing I can really recommend is just check the site periodically if you're still trying to get any of the exclusives between now and 8/14. 8/14 I'm guessing is when they'll put the bulk of them. I think they only put like a few because they literally, all of them just sold out in seconds. So while some of them I think will sell out faster than others, I find it hard to believe if they put the majority of the exclusives up today that they would have all sold out that quickly. And again, they told me just as yesterday in an email that the exclusives would be listed on 8/14. Also with the X-Force Deadpool figure that I talked about last week that's going to be offered at HasCon, it will be offered at some other conventions as well. I don't have confirmations on the other conventions, just that it'll be at HasCon. But as far as New York Comic Con goes, Hasbro generally doesn't have an actual presence at New York Comic Con, so I don't know if they're going to be selling any kind of exclusives there. But they did confirm for me that they will have some to put up on Hasbro Toy Shop sometime after HasCon. I don't have a specific date, but if you're not attending any of the conventions, you will have a shot at that figure online at some point. And then finally, I wanted to share news from Kyoto about new Revoltech figures, the amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Marvel figures. We got 2 new figures announced for that line. A new Captain America figure, which looks like is based on the Marvel Now costume, and then a new Magneto figure. The Wolverine figure is the next figure in that line slated for release. It's currently up for pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store, and they have it listed with a September release date. I don't have release dates on the other 2 figures, Cap and Magneto, but I'm guessing probably one will be released at the very end of the year, and then the other will probably be released early next year. Now, the Captain America figure is said to have a masthead and then a separate face portrait that you can put on the masthead, and then we'll have an unmasked head that you can put on there, a Steve Rogers head, and then have the mask that you can have him just like hold in his hand. You'll also have multiple pairs of hands, his shield obviously, and then a blast effect that you can attach to the shield so it looks like that bullets are ricocheting off of it. For the Magneto figure, we're getting 2 head sculpts. We're getting a helmeted head and then a non-helmeted head. I don't think the helmet is removable, at least from these images. It doesn't look like the helmet is removable. And then you're also going to get multiple pairs of hands and some magnetic effects that you can attach to the hands. Okay, so that's it for news this week. Now, I have picked a few questions for the Q&A. The Q&A has been absent for a couple weeks with Comic-Con and everything, but it's now back. If you're not familiar with this portion, it is where you guys ask questions in the video description, and then I'll read it online and try and answer it to the best of my abilities. I've picked out 4 for today. If you've got a question that you'd like to ask for a future video, just ask it down in the comment section below and just put Q&A next to the question, and again, I'll try and get to it for a future video and read it online. But for this week, the first question comes from Zap. But he asks, is there a release date on the Toy Biz Tribute Vintage Marvel Legend Wave? So Zap, I don't have a specific release date, but Hasbro told me at Comic-Con those figures should be out early next year. So probably, I'm guessing, January, February timeframe. And those will be released everywhere. They're not store exclusives. Amir asks, what was your first action figure and what was your first figure that got you into collecting? So the first action figure that I can remember ever having, I'm not 100% sure if it was my first, but it's the first actual vivid memory I have, is of some Star Wars figures, specifically Tatooine Luke, and we're talking about the original Kenner Star Wars figures. So Tatooine Luke and Obi-Wan Kenobi and a land speeder. I remember having those and playing with them in the back seat of my parents' car as we were going someplace. So, and definitely that was the first major action figure line that I collected as a kid, not as a collector, but as a kid to play with. And then later on started collecting things like G.I. Joe and Transformers. But definitely Star Wars is the first one I have vivid memories of. Really, the only thing I remember having before that were Hot Wheels cars. I remember having as a kid, I remember having a Spider-Man Hot Wheel car and a helicopter with a web propeller blade and stuff. But for action figures, yeah, it was Star Wars definitely. As far as what got me into collecting, I would say probably the 5-inch Toy Biz Marvel figures were the first ones I remember getting as like a collector older. I was in high school, so I wasn't buying them to play with, but definitely got them and displayed them on a shelf. Captain, that first wave of Toy Biz figures with Captain America and the Silver Surfer and Hulk and Iron Man and such. And I still have those figures even today. Randy Stark asks, what toy series do you personally enjoy, look forward to collecting the most? So it can vary, from time to time, but right now I'd say probably the one that I enjoy collecting the most are 6-inch Marvel Legends. I think they're probably the, best action figure line out there right now. Now again, that changes, from time to time, so I'm not saying it's always Marvel Legends, but right now I would say it's definitely the 6-inch Marvel Legends. And then the final question comes from Finn, and he asks, Why do you think DC Collectibles didn't show any promos for the next wave of DC TV figures, and what are your predictions for figures in that wave? So I didn't ask them specifically at Comic-Con about the DC TV series wave, so I really don't know why they didn't have anything new. We know what's coming out through the end of this year with the Atom figure and the White Canary and the Vixen figure. Those are all slated for the end of this year, and they are still coming. But as far as next year, we basically have no idea what they've got planned. I'm hoping the reason why they didn't have anything on hand at San Diego is they're holding some stuff back to show off at New York Comic-Con. The only alternative that I can think of is that they're really not planning on continuing the line into next year. But again, I'm hoping that's not the case. I think, if we don't see anything at New York Comic Con, then that's probably the likelihood. But again, I'm hoping that we do see some more stuff there. They often show new stuff at New York Comic Con, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that. New York Comic Con's in October, so we only got a couple months to go till we find that out. I wouldn't expect anything else to be revealed until next February, which is Toy Fair. So again, I think New York Comic Con is our best bet to see if they've got new figures planned for 2018. As far as figures I would like to see from DC Collectibles for the DC TV series line, I would love to see a future Flash, the Barry Allen in when he was older that we saw last season in that updated costume. I also would love to see a Jay Garrick figure, the real Jay Garrick, not the fake Zoom one from DC Collectibles. A Savitar figure, I wasn't a huge fan of the character, but the armor was kind of cool, so I think that would make for a cool looking figure. It would probably need to be some kind of deluxe figure if they did that. A Miss Martian would definitely be nice, as well as a Citizen Steel. I think we need him for the DC Legends of Tomorrow team. So those are figures I would say I would like to see, but as for what we will see, again, I really don't know, and like I said, hopefully we will see some stuff at New York Comic Con in October. Okay, so that's it for this week. Again, if you've got a question you'd like me to try and read and answer in a future video, just ask it down below and put Q&A next to it. Also, leave a comment just letting me know what you think about all the things that we discussed in today's video, and if you're so inclined, please like the video. Hit that subscribe button down below. You can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, I will catch you later.